Welcome to The Real Review, sponsored by Parametric and Lazy Ape Studios, where you get some of the latest happenings, real thoughts, and perspectives in the world of film and television. And my name is Matt Hay, and you are...
Joel Cunningham.
Joel.
Joel. I was about to cough. I think that's what happened there.
Yeah, that's probably what happened.
Why do they call it you have a frog in your throat? Because usually when I have a frog in my throat, I'm usually like...
There's a frog in my throat.
Yeah.
Like that?
It's like somebody, when you get a frog in your throat, you just go like...
I never say that. That's just a term I feel like it's not really a thing that I actually use.
I gotcha. There has to be some reason for that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because it sounds like you're like,
I could get that. I can see that. That's probably it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll investigate. I'll get to the bottom of this frog thing.
Do it. Research it. Research it right now.
There you go.
Anyways, this is our coming soon and news segment where we cover all of kind of the films that are coming out soon. Actually, today, as of today, and this weekend, and what's going on with that. And then also some of the latest that's happening in the world of movie news.
Yes.
Today, we're going to be covering a few of the movies that are coming out. Three big ones, specifically The Mummy, It Comes at Night, and Megan Leavey.
Really just two big ones in my mind.
Two big ones.
Yeah.
Anyway, so obviously the big one that everybody's...
That last one's going to be pretty rough,
Matt. The big one that everybody's talking about is Megan Leavey.
Really?
And it's going to be a $100 million opener this weekend. Kate
You're not
Mara.
just barking up a tree with that one, right?
Yeah. No, but seriously, let's start this off because there's a couple of movies on here that I'm actually pretty pumped for.
Mm-hmm.
Joel is like, I feel like you are kind of pumped for, but
kind of.
You can't be pumped for one of them because it's not really your jam and type of
I'm like, I have this weird thing where I hate watching like suspense horror movies because I don't like being scared.
Right.
But I love them.
Okay.
I love when good ones come out. Like
right.
What was the one that came out recently? Like It Follows, The Witch. I heard that one was like ridiculously scary, and I'm like, that's great that it came out. I'm so excited and happy about that, but I never watched it. You know?
Yeah.
I never watched it. I don't know anything about it.
So let's go ahead and start with the main one. I think the big studio release, which is going to be from Universal, which is The Mummy. And this is kicking off our new dark universe that they have going on, which is going to have The Mummy, Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and
yes,
who's played by Russell Crowe, by the way. Then you have Johnny Depp as Invisible Man, Javier Bardem as the Frankenstein monster or something like that. I don't know. We don't know all the details just yet, but The Mummy, specifically the synopsis: an ancient princess is awakened from her crypt beneath the desert, bringing with her malevolence grown over millennia.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fun to say, malevolence and millennia.
Say that a few times fast there.
And terrors that defy human comprehension. Directed by Alex,
which means rats, birds.
Right. So written by Alex Kurtzman, directed by Alex Kurtzman, written David Koepp and Christopher McQuarrie, a couple of them. There's a couple other screenwriters as well.
Yeah, that doesn't excite me. It's a bad sign. You got that many writers on board.
I like McQuarrie, but as far as the cast is concerned, Tom Cruise, nobody's ever heard of him. Russell Crowe, Annabelle Walls, Sophia Boutella, Jake Johnson, and a lot of other awesome people too. But Mummy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about The Mummy, and we've been talking about this for a while. I know this is on record. We have many episodes where we mentioned it.
Yes.
I am actually kind of stoked to see this movie.
Shut your mouth, Matt.
So
shut your mouth.
I'm stoked to see it, and I'm hoping that it's going to be a fun action movie.
Yeah.
That doesn't take itself too seriously, but that can deliver some creepy scariness a little bit, but a lot of like cool action set pieces and stuff like that too.
Okay.
And hopefully they do a good job just making the movie and not worrying about connecting it to a universe. So that's kind of my initial thought. However, I loved every piece of marketing for this movie with the exception of the most recent trailer I've seen. Not the one that you and I saw when we went to go see Wonder Woman, but I saw one online somewhere.
It's like an international trailer, maybe.
It's where they're showing all these like jokes, and none of the jokes are funny. Like like you see the mummy come walking up to Tom Cruise.
The Mummy is the joke. That's the thing.
Well,
the movie is the joke.
What if it's actually
the joke on us
Tom Cruise's mommy? and it's just a misinterpretation.
What?
I'm just kidding. So the trailer.
I was like, where are we going with this? I was confused.
The trailer has her walking up, and the girl that was with Tom Cruise is like trapped in the car, and she goes like, "Go show that mummy who's boss," or whatever. I don't know what it was. And then he like goes up and like gets kicked and goes flying back 50 feet.
Yeah.
And then like that's the joke, and I'm like, this is cheesy. Like, and they had another one like that, and when like right before he gets pulled out of a car or something like that, and it was just like, I haven't seen these until this moment, and those jokes just did not land. Yeah. They weren't deserved, and so I'm kind of bummed out about that a little bit. But
that's a great word, land. Nothing in this film has really been quite landing for me. There hasn't really been an element that I've like, yeah, I'm glad you went there. Tom Cruise seems like he's about 10 years too old, unfortunately, for me to take on. I would prefer Brendan Fraser over Tom Cruise.
Right.
I feel like they're going for like a horror suspense almost type vibe with this, and they've turned the mummy from like a character in and of itself to almost like a ghost-like presence.
Sure.
Every time the mummy's on screen, it's got this weird, almost like like ghostly type ganter like an attitude to it, where it's kind of like quiet and it doesn't really, where, you know what I mean? Whereas like the mummy in the original was like this undead being.
Right.
She seems more like she's got the long black
Emo
hair.
tab.
And the eye thing, like stop trying to make the eye thing happen. Like it's not gonna be. I don't know. I don't need like a ghost mummy movie, and it kind of feels that way. The romantic lead type stuff between her and the lady Annabella Wallace, like they seem like he's way too like her dad almost, you know. And then Russell Crowe, just for the last 4 movies or so, Russell Crowe seems like he's just kind of like phoning it in. And even in the trailer for this, he's like, yes, so we've got a mummy that's kind of here and it's doing bad things, and so you should stop it. So I'm just
you got more of a negative outlook on this.
I have a very negative outlook on this, man. And the fact that they're still like not releasing any reviews for this,
right?
You know, I don't think that's supporting a positive outlook for it.
If the embargo lifts sometime, like either late tonight or tomorrow, I think there's still a shot. But if it gets too much closer to Wednesday and it hasn't lifted, then we're having issues. Yeah. But I'm definitely have outside of the bad humor, I felt like I'm excited to see it. So,
the only trailer I liked for this was the first one.
Okay.
And after that, everything was just very like, okay. They've got a lot of writers on board for this, which again, you know, there might be some individually good talent in there, but overall, I mean, and they've got a director who's really, he hasn't done a whole lot, to be completely honest. He's written on a lot of things. And
he's been involved with like everything from Lost to basically everything J.J. Abrams has been attached to.
And producing a lot, but he hasn't directed really much of anything at this point. I mean, so there's just nothing about this that I'm like, it has any draw for me beyond the fact that it's just like, I wish that I could approach this as kind of like a Transformer-esque, silly popcorn flick action type movie, but they're trying to peg it almost as, like I said, like a horror-ish, like ghost type suspense. Like even in the trailer with the thing where he's like dead and he like bumped, like he jumps up and he's like, "Gah!" and they put that loud like noise. Like they're going for that style, and I'm like, I don't want that out of a mummy movie. I like the Brendan Fraser style better.
Benny.
Yeah, which although
looks
they got
like someone's
horrible,
on the wrong side of the river.
Although they went way too far down that like tongue-in-cheek cheesiness.
Yeah.
I like that better because it's the idea is redonkulous. I mean, it's the idea is that some creature that was killed from like eons ago would come back as like a person wrapped in cloth and it didn't bring plagues upon people. I mean, it's so ridiculously over the top.
So you sound really excited for this. What would you rate your excitement level?
I'm at like a 3.5 out of 10, maybe 3.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Because I do think Tom Cruise can do an effective acting job. Some of the action set pieces look interesting. It looks like it has decent special effects. I mean, so I'll be like kind of moderately interested, but I feel like the plot and the story and the overall story arc and things are going to start happening. I'm just going to be like, really? That's going to be like my feeling the entire movie. Really? Because reasons.
I will say this. Tom Cruise is one of the best actors in Hollywood when it comes to running on film. He
does in every
the
film
most
too.
intense.
Yeah,
like it looks like he's running 1,000 miles an hour. Too.
Yeah, I could have some stories that I could tell you about. Supposedly, I've heard from being on set with different stuff. But like every one of his films, he is kind of known for doing as much of his own stunt work as he can,
which is cool. Yeah, I mean they do that in Mission Impossible. Like the last one, he actually was legit hanging off the side of a airplane as it took off.
Yeah, and he was hanging from the side of the building
in Dubai.
in Dubai and stuff.
Craziness.
Yeah.
So you got to give him a lot of props as far as that's concerned.
Yeah.
But yeah, my excitement's closer to a 7.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll have to talk about this next week. But
I'm probably still gonna end up seeing this one over what we're talking about next because of reasons.
Because of reasons. So this next one is something I'm looking forward to. I am more of the thriller horror aficionado between the two of us.
Yeah.
And It Comes at Night.
What is it?
It Comes at Night. The clown.
What is it? Oh, the clown?
Yeah, no.
it's a sidequel?
Yeah, it's a sidequel. So just the title alone is pretty menacing just in its sounding. But
the trailers for it, man.
The trailers are terrifying.
Yeah.
But so secure within a desolate home as an unnatural threat terrorizes the world, a man has established a tenuous domestic order with his wife and son, but this will soon be put to test when a desperate young family arrives seeking refuge. And this stars primarily Joel Edgerton, Christopher Abbott. Yeah, Joel Edgerton's awesome, actually.
Great actor.
Did you see The Gift?
I didn't see The Gift. I want to see The Gift. I saw Warrior. I liked him in Warrior.
Oh yeah. He's great in The Gift. So is Jason Bateman too. Anyway, side comment. And then you have Carmen Ejogo.
I really only like him because his name, by the way. So
Riley Keough and Kelvin Harrison. And the big thing with this is it's very mysterious.
Yeah.
I like it right off the bat because one of my favorite, doesn't matter what, it's kind of a guilty pleasure like trope. If it's in a movie, it kind of amps it up and makes me like it more.
Yeah.
It's in a post-apocalyptic, some sort of world where something wrong has happened.
Yeah.
And so it's already in this world, but we don't know what's happened. All the trailers are very vague. It's got that kind of like very much smaller scale of like a village.
Right. I think that's because of the budget. So they probably put most of the money into the actual cinematography and the casting.
Right.
Because this is an A24 production. Yeah. And they do that. So they make really cool looking films, I think. Mm-hmm. But they don't just, at this point, they still don't do like huge budget. They're kind of in that like 10 million kind of range, 10 to 20 million, I think, kind of range, which seems like a lot, and it is a lot, but for a big budget Hollywood film,
Right. So I like the mystery. I like that it's and all the talent involved, but it's got a great start. It's been out and being reviewed for weeks now.
Yeah.
It's in the mid 80s, I believe.
Yep.
And for a long time it was at 100%, but obviously people who reviewed it really early probably wanted to see it and were really hyped on it anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it. I like to get my scare on every now and then, I guess. And I want to try and it's so difficult. I really only have time usually to see one film a weekend, but I want to cover it. So I think I might go see this one this weekend.
Instead of The Mummy.
And then you can go see The Mummy, and then I can catch The Mummy later on.
That's fine. It looks great. We were talking about this as well. I have this funny thing. I love-hate relationship with horror movies. I don't like watching them, but I love the fact that they're out there.
Yeah.
Like I love that I don't know why. I love the fact that it looks like it's going to be a really successful film. It's really going to do well. I think it's just something about the cinematography and the style and the budget that they're giving a shot as well to types of films that aren't being done.
Right.
A new type of idea. I mean, maybe not necessarily like a really new type of idea, but they're playing it off in a very different way.
Yeah.
And they have a new director, Trey Edward Schultz, who was a winner at South by Southwest for a film that he did.
Yeah.
And so, but other than that, he hasn't really done a whole lot. So it was written and directed by him. I like the casting, so it's tough because it's like I would like to watch it, but I just don't want to be scared. Yeah. I don't like being scared by films. So, sorry.
I'm at with this movie, I'm at an 8.5 in excitement level for it.
I'm at like a 5, but
you're like, I don't know, I'm so scared of it right now.
I mean, yeah, I'm like, I need to watch. The thing is I can view films like this like at home during the day with the lights on.
Yeah.
I make myself sound like such a wuss. Like I'll go see horror movies and stuff. I just don't like to,
Right.
I don't get any enjoyment out of like something going, ah!
Right.
I do enjoy kind of a suspenseful ride type movie where it kind of tensions building. I just don't like that, like everything's going blah on your face.
You should go see Lights Out.
Yeah, see, that's like the worst. That is exactly the worst kind of film.
In a pitch black
yeah,
house.
we watched. The Happening.
Oh yeah.
Oh my! I jumped so much.
The Happening?
Wait, not The Happening.
The Happening's a terrible movie.
Not The Happening. Crud! I can't think of it. The one in the house where they're playing the clap.
No, that's The Conjuring.
The Conjuring.
Yeah,
there you go.
That movie's terrifying.
Terrified me. So like the first half of that movie, because it kind of goes more of like a horror route later. I can deal with horror better than I can deal with suspense.
You said The Happening.
It's The Happening. It's not The Happening. I apologize. It's not The Happening at all. That's not what's happening right now.
M. Night Shyamalan's greatest horror masterpiece of all time, The Happening.
I was scared of The Happening for different reasons. I was scared of The Happening because of the director name. When that popped up, I was like, oh my gosh, he made another. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, The Conjuring.
The Conjuring.
Second half, yeah. Second half, I was less scared about, and I could deal with because it was mostly horror.
Yeah.
Whereas the first half, I mean, it was all just things jumping and and I cannot. I don't know, maybe a weak heart.
It was that was a tough one.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's so we have It Comes at Night. That's the horror film that's I'm actually highly anticipating this weekend. And then we have another lesser of a release. We won't spend a ton of time on it, but it's called Megan Leavey. It's actually based on a true life story of a young Marine corporal whose unique discipline and bond with her military combat dog saved many lives during their deployment in Iraq. And it's directed by Gabriella Cowperth-White. I'm sorry.
It's Perthwaite.
I'm sorry, guys.
Just kidding.
Anyways, it stars Kate Mara, who is sister of Rooney Mara, if you didn't know that.
I was kind of ticked off because I was looking over the casting and they don't have the dog.
Yeah, and then, that is messed up.
He needs his own little page there.
Yeah, he needs to get credits for this.
Yeah.
And paid in like doggy treats or something. Okay, so anyway,
doggy biscuits.
Tom Felton. Honestly, they probably had like 17 dogs for this movie.
Oh yeah.
Tom Felton, Bradley Whitford, Geraldine James.
Because they probably all died during.
Oh gosh.
Totally kidding.
A dog's purpose all over again.
There you go. Yeah.
So this movie doesn't really look that interesting to me. I can't figure out why, because I like Kate Mara as an actor, but I don't feel like. I don't know why she's choosing the movies. This movie reminds me of that movie. I didn't see it.
She got hit really hard by that Fantastic Four. I mean, everybody that was in that Fantastic Four reboot, that I think hit it. This is my opinion. I think she was doing okay after House of Cards and stuff, and she was kind of getting some decent roles. And then the Fantastic Four reboot came around. That hit everybody that was involved with career really badly. And I think at this point, she's just kind of trying to take projects that she can get to kind of keep herself in the limelight as much as possible. I think this is a smart move for her.
Sure.
Although this film, I will just say to me, looks like a higher budget made for TV type film.
Yeah.
There's just nothing about it in the trailer. It's really just it seems like the story of a girl that wanted to bring her dog back from fighting in Iraq,
right?
Which that it's simple, it's straightforward, but it doesn't. I don't know. There's just something screaming out to me that's like, this needs to be on the big screen.
It reminds me.
This needs a huge budget.
It reminds me of that movie Max.
Yeah.
With the dog.
Oh yeah.
And then there's also, this is kind of the same reason why they with that movie Captive that Kate Mara did. It kind of has that same vibe a little bit. I don't know why. Maybe it's just. I'd be surprised to see maybe there might be a lot of same production company things in there, but as the most part, I'm not really super excited about it.
Yeah,
I would say if I have to rank it, I'd probably give it a 4.
Yeah, I don't know. The other thing is I don't really know who the audience is for something like this. I'm not gonna
German
generalize.
Shepherds.
Yeah, there you go.
German Shepherds all across the world.
They should have a dog viewing. I'm not gonna generalize that. I think older individuals and then maybe ladies, like women or people that are just big fan of dogs, I think would probably be the target audience.
Or Lifetime Channel subscribers.
Lifetime Channel subscribers, exactly. Yeah. So I don't really have a huge interest level for this type of a film either. Good for Kate Mara. I don't know. There was something else I was going to say, but I can't remember it exactly. Oh yeah, I was thinking of a way that this could actually be effective. Funny enough, like if they did a crossover with this and did maybe like a Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey. So maybe it's like a prequel.
Shadow, Chance, and Sassy show up.
Yeah, but it's just like one dog as he's like trekking across the Middle East trying to get home. He's like swimming across the Atlantic Ocean. And
so let's say this though. I mean, let's look at something here. So, all right, out of 8 critics, it's not a lot in Rotten Tomatoes. 8 reviews. Yeah, it's at 88%.
That's pretty good.
So far.
So maybe the trailers are just not doing a very good job projecting exactly what this film's about.
It's possible.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's Megan Leavey. Now that kind of does this for what's opening, the big ones opening this weekend. There are a couple of news items. One I just thought of, I wanted to talk about. Yeah. Because I know you have one you want to talk about. Yeah. They are in pre-production for the sequel to Top Gun.
I've heard about that.
Really? Yeah, I don't know. So they talked to Tom Cruise about it.
Yeah.
And he basically said, yeah, it's going to have the same tone and same vibe as the first one. We're going to even have some of the same like
so
cool 80s.
So a lot of like undercurrent of like guys being attracted to other guys.
We're going to have like the 80s like kind of music, that same kind of like score soundtrack.
The sequel to Danger Zone. How could you beat Danger Zone?
It doesn't really make sense to me to do that because that was to the time. It was like early 90s, late 80s, like that was the vibe.
Yeah, that was the era for that type of action film. It was the character-driven action film of the 90s.
So when it's 30 years later, how do you have that same like sound?
I don't know. I feel like you'd have to do like with. I don't know, like dubstep almost be like electric music or something. I don't know how you could.
Highway to the danger zone. Instead of guitars, it's like
exactly. Rock's not really a genre anymore as much as it was back then. Like rock was huge in the 90s. We still have rock music, but I don't think anybody really calls himself like a rock star anymore. But that movie was known for like being like a rock star type, you know what I mean? But then it would have like these melodramatic, like emotional, romantic moments. I think that was that was like the first movie that I really recognized that you could overdo and overblow the epicness out of proportion. I mean, that was such a simple film about a guy that's just training to be a flight guy.
A flight guy.
He's just trying to train to be a flight guy, and then they have this like mock battle situation that just happens to sprout out of somewhere.
Yeah. They and this is what he said too. He said it's not going to be called Top Gun 2. He knew that right off the bat. It's going to be called Top Gun: Maverick.
Okay. Maybe it's his son. I mean, at this point he's too old to play Top Gun, right?
He's got to be he's got to be doing.
He's going to be
like
teaching.
The teaching side of it. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. What if they called it like Top 2 Gun? 2 Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Top Gun 2. Like
Top
T-O.
Guns.
Top Guns. There you go. Top Guns.
Live, Die, Repeat, Repeat.
It's a prequel to Live, Die, Aliens show up at the end of Top Gun 2.
Alien Resurgence.
Yeah, we're totally just spitballing here now. At this point,
we'll
boiled
see.
Down that far.
I don't know if there were a lot of people who were anticipating or asking for a sequel to that movie.
I am not.
But
you know what they should do, and this sounds really stupid for me to suggest this, but they should do a TV show.
Sure. New people.
New people, get a new Top Gun type guy about him. It's like the story of the film, but it's in a film, in a television format where he's trying to become the Top Gun.
It'd be kind of like Quantico was, I felt like.
Yeah.
Anyways, cool. And you had another news story that you wanted to kind of...
Yeah, just briefly talk about this, because this is an interesting story, more about the overall who's attached with this. So Terry Gilliam has finally wrapped his Don Quixote project, which has actually been in production for the last 17 years.
Woo!
Now.
Persistence.
Yes, and so the big reason I'm bringing it up is Terry Gilliam is a pretty, I don't know, you could say that he's a loved-hated kind of guy. He's the writer and director behind Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, 12 Monkeys. He also did he did like Time Bandits, Meaning of Life, which are Monty Python-esque. So he's done some pretty big type productions, and he's been working on this again for 17 years. So it's just a pretty intense thing, and I just wanted to know if you sort of had any thoughts on it. I'm more just impressed that they were able to manage to keep this one going and still happening. There's some decent names that are attached. to the whole production. They actually do have an IMDb page that's up there, but Adam Driver's on it. Jonathan Price is a part of it. So they've got some decent names.
There's something to be said for not just giving up on something.
Yeah.
17 years, that's outrageous to me. I mean, you have something like Boyhood that was filmed over like 7 years.
Right.
Right?
Oh.
Was it more?
Might have been more. I don't know. I
10 years?
I think it was 10 years.
Okay, so, you have something like that, but this is obviously a much different story. But Boyhood was done on purpose like that.
Yeah.
This is done as, a product of things that just didn't go the right way.
12 years for Boyhood.
Okay, 12 years. So, wow, that's a long time. So,
this was longer than that, but it wasn't even done on purpose.
Right. So this is something that he kept getting roadblocks on, but decided to see it through.
Right. Well, so then now though he's being sued again for film rights, apparently by another production company that's claiming that they actually have the film production rights to this and that he shouldn't get it. And so they're saying that it might be delayed in releasing again. So it's like they finally made it through all production and they're getting blocked one more time. So I don't know.
At this point, he's probably like, hey, what's another couple of years? I've already been 17 years
at this
down
point,
the road.
Ain't my problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to
At least he's done with the film, right?
Yeah.
So
I move on to other projects.
Yeah, he can just
like
do other
now.
things and not worry about that. And then
If
when
he
the other
wants
thing
to.
goes through, he can pick up where he left off.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's all.
Nice. Well, that is all for our coming soon and news segment. And just to kind of recap, if you're new to the show, you want to get connected with us, we have a social media presence.
Yeah.
You can find us on Facebook /Real Review Media, or Instagram and Twitter @RealReviewMedia. Check us out there. We got stuff there all the time. You can find us on our website at realreviewmedia.com, or you can link to all the above. And then also email us at realreviewmedia@gmail.com. Let us know what you're most excited about, what you want to see, what your thoughts are. If you did get a chance to see maybe The Mummy or It Comes at Night, or maybe you skip those two to see the highly anticipated Megan Leavey. And let us know what's going on, or let us know what you thought of last week's releases, and just kind of whatever's on your mind, and if there's something that you feel like we're missing, or you want us to see.
Yeah, just want to talk about life.
Yeah,
maybe you feel like life is in production hell.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Anyways,
getting all deep here on the podcast.
So that's really it. And Joel, do you have anything else you want to add?
Nope, I think I'm good.
Nice. Well, it's been real.
It's been real.